he really encouraged me to come up here and give my own testimony. So again, thank you, Carlos. So, my name is Boogie. Some of you guys might have seen me around here. I'm 16 years old. I'm a homeschooled high school student. I know, that's probably like one of 5. I know two people right here. I know 2 people. And I've actually come into this church my whole life. So before I was born, my mom and dad were serving here, so that was good stuff. Anyway, that's not what I'm here to tell you guys about. I'm here to tell you about my testimony. So, I've had 3 spine surgeries in the span of about 2 years. A bit abnormal, to say the least. Look at this. I'm just, trying to best. Anyway, so it all started when I was around 11 years old, right? I began having bad posture. What we thought was bad posture in the beginning. I had a hunchback, I kind of slouched over and was at the computer or whatever. And my parents were like, hey, you know what? Let's try exercising, right? Let's go to the chiropractor, let's do these things. Trying to do these things, trying to figure out, what's going on for about 2-3 years. And then, all during this time, the curvature started getting worse and worse and worse. And my pain started going up and up. So it got to the point where we got a little bit worried. So we decided to take me to a specialist. And he basically diagnosed me with a condition known as Sherman's kyphosis. A really fancy word for saying hunchback, all right? My vertebrae are wedged. So they're like trying to stack up empty binders. They're gonna curve and they're gonna fall no matter what. And the surgeon basically said, there's 3 options. Number 1, leave it alone. Number 1, leave it alone, and it gets worse. Number 2, put on a brace, and it stays the same. Or number 3, have a surgery, and hopefully it gets better. I couldn't stand having it the way it was, so I'm like, all right, take me in for surgery. So we scheduled the next available appointment. They measured the degrees of curvature. They measured the curvature in degrees. So when I went in for my pre-op appointment, for my evaluation, let's just say, I was at 80 degrees. When I went in for my surgery 3 months later, I was at 105, which is extremely abnormal. Usually you only change by a degree or 2 in the span of a year, 2 years. So that threw the surgeons way off, right? Big change, big guy. Usually they're working in much smaller people, pediatric. I'm 16 again. I'm 6'3" here. So day before surgery, I took a photo, and let's just see what it looks like. I don't know. Yep, that's me. So, yeah, I know, look at that. Good looking guy even there, you know what I'm saying? There you go, good stuff. So I could walk around and bounce a cup of water on my back. It's cool stuff, party tricks. Anyway, went in, had the surgery, and basically what they did was, they took a rod that looks exactly like this, 2 rods actually, and they put them on both sides of my spine. They screwed all the screws in and took the rod and straightened it out. And they actually did that 3 times, because each time I lost sensitivity on the right side of my body. You prick my left hand, brain lights up. Prick my right hand, nothing. So they have to do that 3 times. Good stuff. So, needless to say, they got the surgery done, I made it out, I'm walking, right? They say, all right, 6 months, pain goes away. Well, pain didn't go away in 6 months. They said a year could be absolutely back to normal. Year comes around, I'm not back to normal. Still in pain, matter of fact, I'm in increased pain, and I'm feeling cracky in my mid-back. So I'm like, yeah, something's up, guys. We gotta go some x-rays. So during that whole year, we're doing x-rays. This is 2019. During the whole 2019, we're doing x-rays, doing all this different stuff. CAT scans, we did an MRI, it's crazy stuff, which is really hard to do with the rods. But basically, they couldn't find anything. So the surgeon took my word for it, went in, and sure enough, where the bone is supposed to be fused together to stop it from moving, it wasn't fused. Regardless of whatever imagery we took, it wasn't fused. It didn't even show up in the imagery. So, went in, took out the rods, repacked that, and put in a set of new rods. Where in fact, that rod right there, this rod, is one of the original 2 of a kind that was in my back. So let that read you guys out. You know what I'm saying? Good stuff. That's very special to me. Basically, went in, did that, and said, okay, it'll be fine. You're gonna take a little while to recover, and do that. Matter of fact, the second surgery, took place a week before my 1-year anniversary. So, I'm sitting here in the back of my head, God, why are you doing this to me, I was supposed to be doing parkour, I was supposed to be having fun, I'm supposed to be back to normal out of here. I'm not. I'm in another surgery. What's up with that? All right, well, I trust you. This one's gonna be fine. We're gonna be good. We move on. All right, continue on throughout that year, and I'm still in pain. So they go, they do different shots. They actually injected a pain agent into my discs through my back. So the disc is the squishy stuff in between the vertebrae. It really hurt. Basically, nothing worked, and they said, all right, you know what? Maybe it's your discs. Maybe it's again the squishy stuff in between the vertebrae. So they said, all right, let's go in through the front. We're going to take out a rib. We're going to remove 6 discs. No big deal. That's kind of a big deal. So basically, they went in, they took out the rib, they removed 6 discs, replaced 4 of them with titanium wedges to fit my spine, and 2 of them with just some bone graft that would heal over like a broken bone. When they went in, they not only found that there was extreme deterioration in 2 of the discs, to the point where it was not even discs, they were like paper-thin pieces of flesh that were so deteriorated that they thought, this has to be what's causing the pain. It wasn't. So basically, that was in November. I've gone on, I've continued to go to doctors, I've had different pain treatments, all this different stuff. And the pain hasn't gotten better. Why am I telling you this? You're like, guys, what kind of a testimony is this? Are you kidding? What is this kid doing in his off time? I don't know. Something unforgivable. Well, I'm coming here to tell you guys this, that God answered my prayer. He answered my prayer, not the way I expected, not the way I wanted, and not the way I still want. But God answered it. Number 1, I'm walking. That is a big deal for someone who has a spine surgery. That is a big deal. Number 2, I'm standing up straight. You know, how was I supposed to, get married with a back like that, right? I'm standing straight. I look better, I feel better. Even though I'm at a 6 out of 10 on a pain scale daily, God's got me. He has it in His plan, no matter what. Much like a mom will take her infant. Much like a mom will take her infant to the doctor to get her blood drawn, to get his or her blood drawn, to get a blood work done. The infants, all they're thinking here is, oh my gosh, what is going on? This creepy man's coming out with me with a needle. Get out of here! Screaming and yelling, right? Much like the mom knows for the child that that is important and can help prevent further pain and further suffering, God knows that, at least in my case, this is going to help in some way. I may never see it, just like Job never saw that behind the scenes, behind the curtains of God. He never knew. I may never know. I'm coming here to tell you guys that each of you guys is struggling with something. I'm not going to pretend to know what that is. If someone came up to me and said, hey, listen, I have your exact same story, I'm not going to pretend to know what they're feeling, because I don't. I know what it felt like for me to go through that, but I don't know what it felt like for them to go through that. So I'm not going to come up here and say, hey guys, you know what? I know what you're going through. It's nothing. It's not compared to anything I went through. You're fine. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say your pain, your suffering, your addictions, your struggles are all real. They're extremely real and personal to you. Only you know that. You and God. God is the only other person who knows what you are going through. No one else on this planet does. So I'm going to end with this. I did not want my prayers answered in this way. I didn't want this to be the end of my story. I wanted my story to be, hey, I had a condition. I got a couple surgeries. I got 1 surgery, and I'm cured, and I'm good, and I'm living for God. My story is, hey, I had 3 surgeries, still hurting, but I'm still going to try to live for God. Because every single one of us has a choice. God's got us. If you're still here, that's a blessing. You're still alive. You still have an impact you can make on this world and the people around you. Don't waste it. It's special. And if God takes you home, like He has so many different people, then it's in His plan too. God is the man behind the puppeteering. I don't know where this analogy was going. God is the man behind the production booth. There we go. He's the guy pulling the strings. He's the guy setting up the slides. He's the one who has the script of our lives. We're just the characters. We don't decide what happens. He does. All right? Don't waste the gift He's giving you. Thank you guys.
time for Bogey. Wow. What a testimony. And look, I was literally looking like, who the heck threw these spikes up on stage? Wow, that was in this man's back. What a testimony. Well, hey, look, really quickly, guys, if you want to serve